2111 Sports Blog. Now, to get this started off with MLB, Yankees signed Freddie Garcia to a minor league deal. Countless number of pitchers the Yankees are signing this year, such as Mark Pryor. People that's trying to make comebacks. They're looking for relief pitching, looking for starting pitching to see if they're going to be in the roster, the rotation, whatever you want to call it, just to see if they're going to be on the roster. Now moving on to NBA news. Emeka Okafor is going to miss 1 to 3 weeks due to a oblique strain. Emeka Okafor, big presence for the Hornets paint. This is really going to hinder them with their offense and their defense. I think David West is going to have to step it up. Being power forward, he's going to have to move over to center, or they might bring someone off the bench. Whoever comes off the bench needs to step it up and try to fill in Emeka Okafor's void until he comes back. Now, moving on to Melo. Melo denies an extension with the Nets. He says that if he was going to go to the Nets, he was not going to sign an extension, which means that he wants to go to a team that he can sign an extension with and he can see him later on playing for. And I think this team is already in New York. And I'm not talking about the Nets. I'm talking about the Knicks. Because he already talks about his interests in the Knicks. And I don't know what's taking so long, but I think Melo's going to stay on the Nuggets for this season. He's going to wait it out. He's going to try to fulfill the Knicks' plans, which is to wait it out and sign him as a free agent. That's the situation on Melo. And moving on in more NBA news, the Lakers GM says to look out for a trade. Either Bynum or Odom is going to go from an unknown source that I found out today. I hope they trade Bynum because they already have a backup center, and his name is Pau Gasol, and he plays power forward for the Lakers. He gives you 20 points a game. He probably gives you like 3, maybe 4 assists a game. He gives you 10 rebounds a game also. Bynum doesn't give you that many assists, and he can't give you that many points anymore. And blocking shots, Pau Gasol can do that too. Steals, Pau Gasol can do that as well. And so I think that they should trade Bynum to see what they can get on the market. Now, these are the games from around the league from last night from NBA.com.
7 games of Monday Night Basketball. This quick tour through the league known as the Daily Zap. The Indiana Pacers under their interim coach Frank Vogel making their debut. Nice shot from Jared Bayless there. Danny Granger inside to Roy Hibbert, who had a double-double leading the charge for Indiana. Frank Vogel, 1-0. The Pacers win at 104-93. There you see Hibbert's totals, 24 points and 11 rebounds. Denver in New Jersey. That means Carmelo in New Jersey, but in a Denver Nuggets uniform. Carmelo Anthony going off. He did well personally, but the Nets did well as a team, and that's what counts. Brook Lopez, nice little push hook there. Devin Harris, a career-high 18 assists in the victory. New Jersey wins at 115-99. Miami playing in front of the Stars. Dwayne Wade dunking in front of the Stars. Nice dish from LeBron James, who had 8 dimes on the night. And LeBron, well, he did a little more than just pass the ball. He threw it down as well with authority on his old teammates. The Heat cruise as the Cavaliers fall for the 21st time in a row. 117-90, the final score in this one. Orlando and the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis. And look at Mark Gasol taking route A to the basket and throwing that one home. Mike Conley had a nice night as well. Time winding down in the game. Orlando down by 1. Hedo Turkoglu with the miss. Ryan Anderson, nice board, but it's stolen by Mike Conley. He gets fouled, and the Grizzlies would hang on at home to take down the Magic by 3. The final in this one, 100-97. The Washington Wizards looking for their first road win of the season. They're 0-23 coming into Dallas, and they led it in the first half. In the second half, though, Dirk Nowitzki and company taking over. Dirk went for 24 on the night. The Mavericks get the victory by 10. Your final 102-92. John Wall, a double-double in the loss. Charlotte in Utah. The Jazz still playing without Darren Williams, who has a problem with his wrist. And DJ Augustine, no problem with his wrist. All the way to the rack. Hooping harm on that one. Big game from DJ Augustine. But the Jazz, the short-handed Jazz, get it done at home. Nice friendly home rims for Al Jefferson on that shot. The Jazz win this one by 5. Your final 83-78. Bucks in LA taking on the Clippers. Stolen from the Bucks given to Blake Griffin. A little windmill action in LA. Griffin, huge game, and you will see him in the dunk contest over All-Star Weekend. That's not all that the Clippers did. They shot from outside as well. Randy Foye and company getting it done for LA. They win it home again. Final score 105-98, and that's your Daily Zap.
Some pretty great games like the Dallas game. Since I'm starting to become a fan of Dallas because of my man's Jay Free. But now I'm going to talk about Pistons at Knicks. But first, some highlights from ESPN.
Amar'e Stoudemire and the Knicks, they were home to the Detroit Pistons. Opening quarter, Danilo Gallinari showing off the hops here on the send home. He had 29. But later in that first quarter, New York turns it over. Detroit's running Ben Gordon, the giver for Tayshaun Prince. This in the grill of Gallinari. 16 for Prince. We're going to fast forward to the third quarter. Raymond Felton off the drive is off, but Amar'e there to put it back. He had 33, had the game even at 91. Later, fourth quarter, Ben Gordon doing it from downtown. It's 7 3-pointers, scored 35 for the game, but that fourth belonged to the Knicks. They outscored him 33-15, and Timofey Mozgov had a huge game off the feed here from Felton. Mozgov career highs of 23 points and 14 rebounds. Knicks take it 124-106.
Now, the ESPN video doesn't mention that Greg Monroe had 15 points, 17 rebounds. It also doesn't mention that T-Mac put in work with 12 points. And also doesn't mention that Felton for the Knicks put in work with 12 points as well. Keys for this game starting with the Pistons first. They missed free throws. They shot 67% from the line. That's not good. Knicks shot about 87% from the line. That's better than what the Pistons shot, of course. And the Knicks capitalized on the missed free throws. Keys for the Knicks. They held on to the ball. Compared to the Pistons' 14 turnovers, the Knicks had 6 for the whole game. Not for one quarter, not for 2 quarters, for the whole game. Usually the Knicks have 6 turnovers for 1 quarter. Knicks did a pretty good job holding on to the ball. They also owned the glass. By putting in Mozgov for Turiaf, which is another key I didn't put down. Turiaf got into foul trouble. Go to the bench, use Mozgov. Mozgov had a big game. Of course, you saw he got 23 points. Because of him, they own the glass. Amar'e Stoudemire had easy opportunity to get the rebounds. Mozgov was getting rebounds because he's 7 feet. And they basically owned the glass, and the difference was 9 rebounds. They dominated the paint. The Knicks had about like 58 points in the paint compared to the Pistons' 28 points in the paint. Defensive presence of Stoudemire and Mozgov. And I don't think Turiaf played that long. So Mozgov himself is a pretty fearsome defensive presence. And also great defense led to these 14 turnovers for the Pistons. Great defense. Again, the Knicks are playing great defense. And it's actually winning them games right now. And that's a good thing. So maybe you might see Mozgov in the Dallas game, I'm not sure, to go against people like the mid-post magician called Dirk Nowitzki. I'm not sure about that game, but this is the BX Baller 2111 Sports Blog. Signing out.